Hey guys, welcome to another video. In my last video, I did my favorite television shows, beginning with every letter of the alphabet from A to Z. I'm doing the same now with video games. My favorite video games, starting with the letter A all the way to the letter Z. Did this with movies a few years ago, just did with television shows. Time to do it with video games. It's a lot more difficult now. It was hard with shows, even harder with video games. There's more shows, more movies, less video games. Maybe in 10 years, this list will be a lot more interesting and the list would definitely change, but let's get to it. Here's my favorite video games, starting with each letter of the alphabet. Alright, start with A. Easy, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. It's my favorite video game out of the Assassin's Creed franchise. I love, I actually have a soft spot for Valhalla. Love the Ezio trilogy of 2, Black Flag, and Revelations. But Edward's story is the best story. I think he's the best protagonist in the Assassin's Creed. I love his attitude. I love his character arc. I love that's a pirate story. It's a pirate story first, then an assassin story. He doesn't become an assassin until like the second half of the video game, and it's a lot about his redemption and retribution of a character. I love him as a character. I love the story. The boating mechanics is so fun. And just the side quests and building your crew and doing missions with Blackbeard. There's just so much to love in this game. And they'll never make a pirate video game better than this. Yes, it's better than Sea of Thieves. Come at me, Xbox fans. Anyways. Alright, B, Batman Arkham City. Arkham Asylum is fantastic. Arkham Knight has great stuff in it, but not fantastic. Arkham City's brilliant. The side quests, the Riddler stuff is a lot better than it is in Arkham Knight. Joker is the ultimate villain in this game. The ending is one of the best endings to a video game, to a superhero video game. That's what I meant to say. Visually, it's still fantastic. This was a PS3 game, and it still looks brilliant. And I don't think they could ever make a better Batman game than this. I'm saying it. I know. I said it. I'm saying it. All right, for C, I went with Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. I could have went with the 2019 one. I always go back and forth on the Modern Warfares because I love them both so much. The reason I always go with the 2019 one sometimes is because I love that campaign. I think that is one of the best Call of Duty campaigns. But this Modern Warfare's campaign is an easy, close second. But the reason I'm going with it is because the online multiplayer was so ahead of its time. And it still holds up when you play on the PS3 to this day. And it was it was a game changer for Call of Duty. Call of Duty was just a simple war game that did well, but it was never groundbreaking as Modern Warfare because it put Call of Duty on the map, and it made developers from Activision want to put out a Call of Duty almost every year because Modern Warfare was so successful and just so groundbreaking. And it's just so good, and it's so challenging, especially Mile High Club on veteran difficulty. Y'all know what I'm talking about, but I love it. It also brought in price. Come on. There you go. For D, I went with Devil May Cry 5. The Devil May Cry franchise is a franchise I literally just recently got into this year. Played all the games, and I enjoyed most of them. Most of them. Maybe not 2, but I enjoyed most of them. And 5 was the best. I loved playing as all 3 of the main characters of Dante, Nero, and V. And their different techniques is so good, and how their stories intertwine. The action hack and slash is just so fluid. The soundtrack is one of the most badass heavy metal soundtracks in a video game. Fucking love Devil May Cry 5. So good. E, I went with last year's Game of the Year, Elden Ring. Soulsborne games is definitely games I can't play worth of shit. I haven't played all of them, but I have played Dark Souls and Bloodborne, and I sucked ass at them. Elden Ring, which is a lot more, maybe easier to get into. Beating Elden Ring made me, think, hey, I can actually maybe play a Soulsborne game. But Elden Ring has just got such a good lore, good mythos, amazing villains, amazing world building, and my god, is it challenging. And when you beat bosses, you feel like you accomplished so much. Yeah. Alright, F, Final Fantasy VII. It's my favorite video game of all time. Everybody who's known my channel knows that. Moving on. G, God of War 2018. It's God of War 2018, man. Like, I love the God of War series. Ragnarok was a really kick-ass sequel, but 2018, it brought God of War in a new light. The way they did Kratos, Christopher Judge, is amazing. And this relationship with Atreus and scattering the ashes of his wife. Like, dealing with all these Norse gods and going through these side levels and finding these collectibles and learning more about who Atreus is. It is a beautiful story. Plus, the action is amazing. God of War was always a fun hack and slash brutal game, but this one was more of an action adventure with a beautiful story about a father and son in their relationship. And I love Kratos and Atreus and the relationship they have. Ragnarok just makes it just as amazing, but this one, a little better. It's all my opinion. All right. H, Hogwarts Legacy. I tried to go for the platinum, and I failed. Too many collectibles. I loved the game, though. I loved it. This is my favorite game of this year so far. I've always wanted an open world Harry Potter game about what it's like to go to Hogwarts. It makes every Harry Potter dream come true. My character Jay, as a Ravenclaw, doing all the side stuff. Oh my fucking god. Incredible. All the side stuff is amazing. I think the best side characters was, oh my god, I forget their names already. The Slytherin kid. Amazing. All that stuff when he's learning the dark magic and teaching you the unforgivable curses. Love all that stuff. Even the fun things like doing the Quidditch, not the Quidditch, the broom hoops thing. If you know Spyro, you know exactly about that kind of stuff. Just collecting things and exploring different secrets of the Hogwarts mansion. And I love the story, and I love that it takes place during the Goblin Rebellion against the Wizards. I loved it. I can't wait to actually play the game again, and it's just such a beautiful game, man. Yeah, so good. For I, It Takes Two. It was Game of the Year a couple of years ago. It's a fantastic story about building a marriage back. Don't want to talk too much about this because I did platinum this game with someone I'm not with anymore. So I don't want to depress y'all, so let's move on to another game. For J is Jak 2. Jak 2 is my favorite of the Jak and Dexter trilogy, maybe quadrilogy if you include Jak X Combat Racing. Jak 2 is so great. It makes a simple platforming game into an open world sci-fi action adventure game, bringing in guns and ships and twists and turns in the story, making the Jak stories so much more complex and profound than you ever thought. And I love it. It goes ballsy and different. That's what I wanted. All right, for K, I went with Kingdom Hearts 3. Everyone will say Kingdom Hearts 2 is the best. They're probably right. Kingdom Hearts 3 is just my favorite. I love the visuals. I like taking the pictures. The Pirates of the Caribbean world was just so fun. The Toy Story world. Even the Frozen and Tangled world. And just doing the dancing and the sledding. Just, I don't know. Pure joy. That's all Kingdom Hearts. All the Kingdom Hearts games to me are pure joy. But this one, really pure joy. And, alright, L, I went with Legend of the Dragoon. Legend of the Dragoon is one of the most underrated JRPGs. The way they do the combat mechanics is brilliant, and the fact that no RPG has barely ever done that or even touched the surface of doing that. I'm trying to talk here, holy shit. Love it though. Brilliant story, great characters, amazing twists and turns. Oh my god, when you get to disc 3 or part 3 of the game, just the ending of disc 3, there's 4 different twists. You're blown away by the end of this game, man. Holy shit. So good, though. For M, I went with Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect was another series that I never touched when it came out. When they did the remastered of them on the PS4, I played them a couple of years ago and finally got to see what Mass Effect was all about. Loved it. Loved the trilogy. Played Andromeda and fucking hated it, but Mass Effect 2 was my favorite. It became one of my favorite video games of all time. Playing as Shepard, getting to know these new crew members, and like Miranda and Jacob and Thane and Grunt and oh my god, building a relationship, Jack, and going to different worlds and learning about them, choosing your own fate against for them or against them, and choosing your own love interest. It's just a wild ride, Mass Effect 2, and just I remember ending that game and I was just floored, absolutely floored. P.S. I got the happy ending. All right, for N, I went with Ni no Kuni 2. Ni no Kuni 2 Relevant Kingdom is such a great game. It is way superior to than the first one. The first one's good. This one just explores more, bringing in new devices and travel and great characters, and just I loved it. The story gets a little weird and confusing, but I just love these characters and these visuals and this combat system so much that I don't even give a fuck. So, Oxen Free. A great independent game, a good ghost story about this girl and her friends going to this like island, investigating paranormal activity. And you have this like device, this radio device, and she's trying to like communicate with like her dead brother and stuff. And very good little indie short game, only like a 2-3 hour game. Really good though. Definitely check it out. For P is Portal 2. One of the best puzzle platformer games you'll ever play. Music, strategy, atmosphere, perfection. You want to play a game where robots making fun of you, and if you don't solve puzzles, you're going to die. That sounds interesting to you? Play some Portal 2. Q was so hard because there's not a lot of games with Q that I've played, so I just went with the party game, Quiplash. It's a fun party game it's a great game to play with your friends, especially if you're drunk. Just play Quiplash, and it's just simple prompts, answering questions, and most people answer the questions in very dirty, disgusting ways, but that's what makes it fun. R, Resident Evil 2. Remake or original, both are fantastic. Great sequel to the first one. The first one to me is a masterpiece, but the second one is also a masterpiece. And Leon S. Kennedy and Claire Redfield playing these two different stories that kind of like link to each other is such a great idea. And I wish more Resident Evils did that, so you can play two different perspectives. So it gets you to play the game multiple times and stuff. And yeah, I love it. Mr. X, great villain. Great atmosphere. It's truly horrifying. When I played this game for the PS4 when I was a kid, it scared the shit out of me. Loved it though. For S, the original Star Wars Battlefront 2. I actually like the new Battlefront 2. It'll never beat the PS2 version. The PS2 version is incredible. The instant action, the galactic conquest, Rise of the Empire. Brilliant. It's so fucking good. The way they did Heroes vs. Villains. It's childhood for me, man. Like, playing this with my cousin, man, we play hours upon hours playing this game, man. Just so much fun memories, and just, I love it. T, Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2. Never even played the first Titanfall. I heard it's terrible. But Titanfall 2, loved it. Played the campaign, adored it. This relationship you have with BT, the robot. I love this robot. One of the greatest robots in video games. I love this robot. He will give his life to protect you. The combat, the fact that you get to go in BT and control him, it's so fucking cool. And the online multiplayer, pretty damn badass too. Gotta say. Uncharted 4. I could have went with Uncharted 2, but Uncharted 4, it's just a brilliant and just an emotional conclusion to the Uncharted series. And just, all the stuff with Sam and Nate and this brother relationship, and they go into like the backstory of Sam and Nathan Drake. So good. Seeing Sullivan again, just I love it. And the way they end this game, just a beautiful bookend to the series. Love it. V, not a lot for V. So I just went with Vampire. Enjoyable vampire game, playing this vampire, going down the path of either the dark or the light road. Either you can heal people because you're like a doctor, or you can kill people because you need to feed because you're a vampire. Very cool idea, good stuff. It was a fun one-time play. Nothing spectacular, but couldn't think of a lot for V. W. W, I went with a great indie game, What Remains of Edith Finch. It's a fantastic, atmospheric game all about death. Life and death. And you explore this house of this family, and you explore what really happened to all these people. And it's just an emotional roller coaster you go on, so definitely check it out. So good. X, sadly, I got nothing for X. I have not played a game starting with the letter X. I'm sad. Y, Yakuza Like a Dragon. I still haven't played every Yakuza game. I still have to play 4 and 5. Yakuza Like a Dragon is incredible. The way they made this game into like a JRPG was so fucking brilliant. Brilliant way to make this game. Loved it. I love Ichiban as a character. The story he goes on in the first chapter alone when he goes to prison and gets out and gets betrayed by his own clan is so good. And the characters and everything, opening your own business and going to the theaters and doing these sporting and getting relationships and finding out who your father is, just all the stuff you go through in this game. It's brilliant. Brilliant. For Zed, I'm cheating. Sorry. I could have went with Zombie Ate My Neighbors. Easy one. I'm going with Zelda Breath of the Wild. And I know Zelda begins with, it's The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but every time I think of Zed, I think of Zelda, so I'm just going with Zelda Breath of the Wild. Because it's brilliant, and you all know why it's brilliant, so fuck you. So yeah, that was my favorite video games from A to Z, so let me know in the comment section below what are your favorite video games from A to Z. Comment below and let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please subscribe to this channel and join the dark side.